Alrighty, so hey, I'm Beck Lane. This is Catalyst and Company. Catalyst and Company, we're catalysts in each other's lives as well as our own, and we work at being the artists we've always wanted to be. And you today, my friends, are my therapy because I don't wanna. And I'm trying to. So there's a couple of things here. I'm working on some very small portraits and figure pieces for Chasen Galleries, my gallery here in town. They saw a stack of them that I had made and showed interest. They were very interested in them. So I went, okie dokie, gonna run with that. I had started making these little portraits in when I was at my artist residency in Georgia last year. There we go. When I was at my artist residency in Georgia last year, and I didn't know why. Why was I suddenly going from these 8-foot, 9-foot, 10-foot, 12-foot high paintings and wide paintings, these massive mural sketches and stuff and junk, to these little things. I just felt really compelled to do that, to do these. And so I pumped out, I think, 16. I really wanted to come home with 24, but I only got 16 done. And then they sat, and they sat, and they sat, and they sat, and they sat. And then one day I was talking to my friend Peg Green, who is a fabric artist here in town. She does really elaborate, high-end, artistic, like quilting, but we call her a fabric artist. And I said, would you like to work as a collaborative team with these? And so that's what we did. She took a small stack back to her place, and she started building these really beautiful fabric frames around them, fabric backing and fabric frames. So they were true collaboration. And as we've moved along with the project, she's gone from just, framing it to actually coming in, because I kept saying, come into the painting. You don't have to frame it, just like use use some flow. So she started using flow. She also started stitching into the canvas and onto the canvas. I really enjoy what she's been doing with them. So we've done a couple of exhibits together, or small shows together. We have a wall of our work, collaboration work, hanging up at a place called Creative Liberties on Lime Avenue in Sarasota. But these, the rest of them, as I believe I said, my gallery, Chasen Galleries, came in and saw a stack, because I've continued making them. Even though she took some, I continued making these. I don't know why. I couldn't get it out of my head, other than I needed to really work small, start working small. It's something I needed. So big seems just so like such a luxury right now, and superfluous and frivolous, that I'm not doing big right now. Plus it's the total opposite of everything I have been doing. So we love doing opposite days. Anywho, Chasen Galleries was here, Andrew and Mark, the owners, and they saw the stack of small portraits, mini figure work that I had done, and they said, oh my God, this is so cool. These are really neat. We love these. And we want them in the gallery. And I went, okie dokie. But how are we going to mount them? Well, I happen to have a bunch of boards that I had prepped for a solo show at the Newport Art Museum that never happened. But I painted them in the center and then carved the edges too with African symbols, because it was about the African community, the Black community in Newport, Rhode Island. So I'd actually surrounded the edges with African symbols and drika. And anyway, surrounded the edges with these symbols and kept them, and they've been sitting in a box ever since. Well, Andrew and Mark saw these and said, how could you mount them? And so I said, like this. Just like this. So I'm taking these not raw canvas, but unstretched canvas, and I'm distressing, and I hate that word, but distressing the edges. I'm cutting, sanding, tearing the edges, and making it look and feel as tired and as worn as we feel right now, or at least as tired and worn as I feel right now. It just seems the most appropriate. Plus, sorry, I'm sanding while I'm doing this. Plus, it's a bit of a response to things that are happening in the world. You know, AI was shoved down our throats this year. And everything had to be AI, and illustrating is AI. And now I'm painting with it. People say, I'm painting with AI. No, you're not. You're not painting. Painting is actually involves your hands and this stuff and physicality and understanding. You're illustrating. Sometimes just telling the computer what you want it to do. I want kitties smoking and playing cards. Okay. So this is the direct opposite of that. Whereas AI is all about perfection and I don't know. It's about being inhumane, and there's a coldness to it. This particular portfolio, which incorporates my William Bullard portfolio as well, portrait portfolio, is all about human touch, human frailty, human touch, exhaustion. So once again, it's going in the opposite direction. I love nothing more than doing and being and saying the least fashionable thing possible. And so we're doing this. Now, once I get this as worn down and tired as I want it to be, or as expressive of humanity, and being human as I want it to be, then I'm tacking them in, and I don't have them over here. I have little upholstery tacks that I'm using to just put them up with. I love upholstery tacks. I love the nod to 100 years ago, a nod to when you could breathe, sort of. Well, when we weren't being attacked every 5 minutes by technology and stuff. But I grew up in a Victorian home. Sorry, I'm kind of wandering. I'm very stressed out. I was brought up in a Victorian home, so we had marble top tables. We had velvet furniture. We had doilies and handmade items, and it was just, it's something that makes me feel at home, and it's comforting. And so that's what I'm using here, are things that are handmade by humans, by me. And you can touch it, and you can feel, hopefully feel, just a little bit closer to humanity. And my neighbor, who is very loud right now. So, anywho, that's kind of my spiel. Thank you for being my therapy. Without you, I'm not sure I could have gotten through that. But I do have some other ones to do. I'm going to put on a something or other and get to work. And I hope I've said something that might be able to spark motion in you as well. It's very difficult right now. It's very difficult. I find it difficult to not go back to bed. Oh my God. He's on the other side of the wall. Anyway, All right, that's a... Let's see what we can accomplish today. Let's see what we can accomplish. Don't forget to reward yourself. Don't forget. I stressed it in the last video. I'm going to stress it again. Don't forget to reward yourself for getting out of bed, for taking a shower, for getting dressed. These are difficult, difficult times. Don't forget to reward yourself for even reaching the tiniest of goals right now. Oh, and that said, these are available through Chasen Galleries in Sarasota, and the links for that will be down below. All right, ciao, ciao. Ciao, boink, boink.